Hoping that I am audible to separate plastic waste as a window and shit. Because my microphone has been set to 50%. Now hopefully my voice would be pretty clear. Oh, oh, desktop audio is off. Okay, voice is clear. Let's get back to work. So, yesterday we were reading about debugging. Using integrated debugger, stepping when you run your program, execution begins at the top of the main function, then proceeds sequentially, statement by statement until the program ends. At any point in time while your program is running, the program is keeping track of a lot of things. The value of variables you are using, which functions have been called, so that when those functions return, the program will know where to go back, and the current point of execution within the program, so it knows which statement to execute. And all this is stacked information is called your program state, or just state for short. In previous lessons, we explored various ways to alter your code to help with debugging, including printing diagnostic information or using a logger. These are simple methods for examining the state of the program when it is running. Although these can be effective if used properly, they still have downsides. How do we shift from Alt tab or Alt tab, Control tab? However, what if we were able to remove the behind the scenes and so forth? That is an unstated assumption that once we run the code, it will run to completion, only pausing to accept the input with no opportunity for us to intervene and inspect the results of the program at whatever point we want. What if we were able to remove this assumption? Fortunately, most IDEs come with an integrated tool called debugger that is designed to do exactly like this. A debugger is a computer program that allows the programmer to control how another program executes and examine the program state while the program is running. For example, the programmer can use debugger to execute a program line by line, examining the value of variables along the way by comparing the actual value of variables to what is expected and watching the path of execution through the code. A debugger can immensely in tracking down semantic logic errors. The power behind debugger is twofold: the ability to precisely control execution of program, the ability to view and modify, if desired, the program's state. Initially, debuggers such as GDB were separate programs that had command line interfaces where the programmer had to type arcane commands to make them work. I think I saw arcane in Fedora Eximius Labs. Later debuggers such as early version of Borlander's Turbo Debugger were still separate programs but supplied a graphical front end to make working with them easier. These days, many IDEs have integrated debugger, that is the debugger that uses the same interface as the code editor, so you can debug using the same environment that you use to write code. C++ debugger in VS Code. Are highly convenient and recommended for beginners. Command line debuggers are well supported and still commonly used in environments that do not support graphical interfaces, embedded systems. Nearly all modern debuggers contain some standard set of basic features. However, there is little consistency in terms of how the menus to access these features are arranged, even less consistency in the keyboard shortcuts. All the examples we will use from Microsoft Visual Studio, and we'll cover how to do everything in code blocks as well. You should have little trouble figuring out how to access these features, no matter which ID you are using. Comprehensive guide. CLion, Eclipse, CDT, code blocks, QDT creator. What IDE based on Eclipse, using powerful code compiler integration, graphical debugger, standard C out and line, yeah. Eclipse, CDT, search Google for Eclipse. Is it open source or is it closed source? Downloads CDT. Oh, it is open source. Based on Java, because then we have it is made in Java, extensions.ml, extensions.xml, and I believe pom.xml is for dependencies management for Java. Okay, good enough. 11 build pom. Jenkins file or git ignore is there or not? Git ignore. Must ignore. Target index bin. Cool. CLion code blocks Qt editor designed for developing Qt applications. The remainder for this chapter will be sent. Learning how to use debugger. Do not neglect to use the debugger. The programs get more complicated the amount of time you get from learning to use integrated debugger effectively. Will fail in comparison to the amount of time you save finding and fixing the issues. Before proceeding to this lesson and subsequent lessons, make sure the project is compiled using a debugger build configuration. Configuring your compiler build configuration for code blocks user. Who uses code blocks? VS Code user to set up Ctrl+Shift+P. I do have VS Code. Let's see if that works. Because VS Code we use to manage complex. So what I'll do is Ctrl+Shift+P, then select C++, add debug add configuration. I think this okay, followed by G++ build GDB LDB Where is G++ build? Install extension. Category debuggers. Where is G++? CMake tools is there. C, C++, G++. Control Shift P, C, C++, debug, start debugging. Configuration, add configuration, similar command, change configuration. C++, GDB, LLDB, CMake debugger, install extension. I need something related to G++. They are suggesting me something. More C++ debugger option, Node.js options, web app options, install extensions, start JSON. Okay. We should create launch notification, change stop at entry. No stop at entry is there. What the fuck? Move to trash. Control Shift P, C, C++, debug, configuration, add configuration, start debugging, CMake, more CMake debugger. I need something related to G++. CMake. Debug console. We have to press F5. Running pre-launch G++ build active file. Remember my choice. Things that exist after running pre-launch. Debug anyway. Open launch.json. Stop at entry, I did it. Still it is. Is it adding launch.json? I'll just shift delete. I'm not going to restore this file. Let it be. I'm not going into debugging too much. We are going to start our exploration of debugging. First, examine some debugging tools. Can you directly debug with G++, GDB? GNU project. Great. ChatGPT is going to answer this question well. Can you directly debug with G++? No, you cannot. Is to prepare. Isn't GDB outdated? Is it GDB outdated? Not really. Old but not out. It's still very relevant and widely used in implemented. When was its last version released? GDB, LLDB, Classic CLI debugger, very powerful. Oh, how to install GDB and how to debug program. GDB is already in the newest version. GDB version. Yes, we have it. Here on GDB version. Cool. So G++ compile. Have I compiled anything? 31 ls 31 is also empty. cd 30 ls. We have the compilation. main.cpp. So okay, this program has error intentionally. So what we do is start debugging simply by enables debugging running language variable disables optimizations according to videos rm ls rm name G++ hyphen G hyphen 0 main.cpp hyphen o main. So GDB main symbols for main, get main, set breakpoint GDB1, set print x. Set a breakpoint. This is the debugging tool. Run. think really must have some great resource on GDB. Really must have some great resource. I know that they often have great books. Art of debugging with GDB to create clips. GDB project reference. These books are too old. GDB. Step into what executes the next state. We are going to start exploration of debugger by first examining some of the debugging tools that allow us to control the way our program executes. Starting with the name of Step into execute the next statement in the normal execution path of the program. Then pauses the execution of the program so we can examine the program state using the debugger of the statement being executed and take. So function call step into causes the program to jump to the top of the function being called, where it will pause. Let's look at a very simple program. Int value 5 is the argument will pause. Okay, standard cout value. Yeah, this program should work. Let's debug this program using the step into command. First locate and then execute. Then main.cpp main.cpp. What was the parameters? History. -g main.cpp 2011 GDB main. Exit clear unless clear GDB main. Step into the program execute the next statement in the manual execution part of the program. Then pauses for execution of the program so we can examine how do we do this. For previous code for the compiler if we are using, you will likely find step into command under the debug program menu. Aliases, breakpoints, data, status, start, code, trace point. Help step into clear. Step into GDB. How to step into over out with GDB. Use this step command after setting the breakpoint at function call. To step into, step out. Okay. Help programming provides something. help running. Okay. Once detach, then quickly start out. Hope next. So you can see that steps into supporting the next step. Run step the path. Oh. Let's ask ChatGPT. Okay, GDB main. What does break mean exactly? Break main, breakpoint, line 10, break at print value, run, program is running, step into the function call, std out print value equal to 5, print value, void print value, you shall see. Wait. When I press the entered step, the program is now being run. Breakpoint, run, stops at main. When I press step, then void. You are now inside inspect variables. Print value. $1 equal to type. This confirms that argument was passed correctly. Execute line by line. Next. 5, 6. You'll see return to main. Finish. Continue or quit. Continue. Quit. Debugger is complex. Debugger is actually very complex. It is hard to understand what's happening inside the program. Executes next statement in normal execution path of the program, then pauses execution for program so we can examine the program state using the debugger. If the statement being executed contains a function called step into the causes the program to jump the top of the function being called, where it will pause. Locate then execute the step into debug command once. Debug or run when step into command can be accessed via run, step into run. Where is fucking run? Run, step info. Let's me go to files. 30 main.cpp g++ build. Debug anyway, cancel, run and debug anyway, open loss. What do I do with this? Add configurations, cmake, gdb attach, cmake node.js. Okay, now what shall I do? Debug C++ file, open launch.json, add configuration, gdb launch, add configuration. So much abstractions of thing. The fuck, debug main.c++ file. Main does not exist. 31 main does not exist. Open. Let it be, let it be, let it be. Shift delete. And I cannot do this in VS Code. VS Code is too complex. Execute the first debug command to see quite a few things happening. The program will recompile if needed. Local variables, global scope, standard cout, implemented assumption, step into implementation of operator function instead. We mentioned that standard cout is buffered, which means that there may be a delay between when you ask your standard cout to print a value and it actually does. Because of this, you may not see value appear at this point. For performance reason, the statement should be removed and commented out while debugging. So you want to continually add, remove, comment, uncomment the above. So you can wrap the statement with unconditional compilation precursor. We always have to choose step into again to execute the closing brace of the function print value. In future lessons, we'll explore other debugger commands, some of which may not be available unless the debugger is already running. If the desired debugging command is not available, step into code to start debugger and try step over. Command executes the next statement in normal execution path of the program. However, step into will enter the function calls and execute them line by line. Step over will execute the entire function without stopping or returning to control to you after the function has been executed. Step out. Unlike two-stepping commands, step out does not execute next line of code. Instead, it executes all remaining code in the function currently being executed and then returns the control to you when the function has returned. Step too far. When stepping through a program, you can normally only step forward. It is where you accidentally step past or step the place you wanted to examine. If you step past your intended destination, the usual thing to do is to stop debugging. What is happening? What is happening? Is something wrong? Is something wrong? Why is this being showed up? Stream is happening properly. Such as Visual Studio Enterprise Edition RRR have introduced a stepping capability, generally referred to step back or reverse debugging. Goal of a step back is to rewind the last step so you can return to program to a prior state. This can be useful if you overstep. If you want to re-examine a statement that just executed, implementing step back requires great deal of using an integrated debugger. दे दो I'm wondering if I should start using code blocks or not. Code blocks or not, because I have a lot of problems with GDB. Is code blocks deprecated? People still use it. Okay, then I should also start using code blocks. Beginner, student, hobbyist, long time users, maybe like VS Code, far more popular due to richer features, better, feel outdated to most experienced developers. Choose newer tools instead. Oh, let it be, let it be. Using integrated debugger, watching variables. Watching variables. Guys, I'm eating. I will read it and I will eat. I will watch the video.